Hi, this is Stephanie Falck, a research tech with the USDA ARS at the Eastern Oregon Ag Research Center, and I'm here to present an Eastern Oregon Ag Minute. Well, like it or not, it looks like winter is here. This week I'll be discussing feeding and caring for horses during the cold winter months. Horses are actually well suited for cold weather and can handle it better than hot weather in most instances. Most horses will tend to put on a few extra pounds going into winter, which helps insulate them and provide additional energy reserves if needed. Their hair coat has a pile which traps an insulating layer of air next to the skin, and the greasiness of the hair will help repel precipitation. With a good hair coat and the absence of wind and precipitation, healthy horses with plenty of hay can withstand temperatures up to minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. However, in wind and precipitation, the hair coat is disturbed and the insulating ability is lost. Providing them with some sort of shelter or windbreak can help keep them comfortable. Keeping warm requires energy. In order to keep them from losing weight when the temperature drops, most horses need between 15 and 20% more feed per day for every 10-degree drop below 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Yesterday I discussed how horses are designed to keep warm in cold weather. Today I'll tell you the best way to feed them to keep them warm. Once the mercury drops, a horse is going to need more of his calories to keep him warm. In order to maintain condition, this means that we need to increase the amount we feed during the cooler months. Many people think that the best way to do this is to provide corn because it's a hot feed. However, the opposite is true. While corn does have a lot of calories per pound, it does not produce as much heat when it's digested. On the other hand, hay and other fibers, which are digested by bacteria in the cecum of the horse, produce additional heat when they are digested. This additional heat can help the horse maintain its body temperature without using more calories. So, the first step in feeding a horse to keep him warm is to provide plenty of fiber. Some horses, however, are going to need additional calories to maintain their condition. This is particularly true for older horses, horses that were somewhat thin going into winter, mares still lactating, or working horses. These horses can benefit from a little added grain to their diet. If the horse is already getting grain and you would rather not feed more, you can safely work up to adding up to 1 cup of corn oil per feeding to increase the calories without unbalancing the diet. This week I've been discussing caring for your horses in the cold weather. Across the country, equine veterinary clinics have an increase in impaction colics when the temperature drops because horses tend to drink less and eat more dry forage. The most important thing you can do during the winter months to keep your horse healthy is to ensure that they are consuming adequate water. Horses can eat snow, but not enough to meet their needs. Mustangs are able to do it because they're not eating much either, so there is little dry matter to cause an impaction. You need to break ice several times a day so horses can access water. An easy way to do this is to keep a rubber ball in the tank. Just push it down to break the ice. Even better is to provide a tank heater. Some horses prefer warm water. There are many theories on why, ranging from that the cool water chills them to that the cold water makes their teeth hurt. Whatever the reason, it doesn't hurt to offer him a bucket of warm water if he doesn't seem to be drinking. Also, a good way to increase water intake is to feed him a warm mash. Traditionally, horses were given a warm bran mash, but bran is too high in phosphorus for it to be fed more than once a week. A warm beet pulp mash is a better idea, and it can be fed daily. You can also increase water consumption by adding a teaspoon of salt to the grain. By ensuring that your horse is drinking enough water, you can help prevent colic. This week I've been discussing caring for your horses in the cold weather. Today I'll be discussing the pros and cons of blanketing. A lot of the time, horses are blanketed because it makes the owner feel better. The owner is cold, so the horse must be too, right? Horses are much more comfortable at colder temperatures than we are, however. There are times when blanketing is a good idea. Horses begin growing their winter coats as the days get shorter. Blanketing your horse can reduce the hair he'll grow, but to truly keep him slick, he needs to be under lights for 16 hours a day. Most horses are kept blanketed for showing so they look slick and shiny year-round. Other horses that would benefit from blanketing would be older horses or horses in poor body condition. Most horses are fine with the winter coats that they have, provided that they have some form of shelter or windbreak. Once wet, or when the hair is disturbed by wind, the coat loses its insulating ability. Blanketing a horse with a full winter coat can actually decrease their warmth, since it will flatten down the coat and remove the insulating area of air between the coat and skin. Be aware that blanketing can be a big commitment and a lot of work. Horses should not be allowed to get sweaty under their blankets, so on a lot of days the blanket needs to be taken off and a lighter one put on. Blankets that are not waterproof or water resistant should not be used in wet weather. Horses should not be blanketed when wet unless it's with a cooler, because trapping the moisture against the skin will actually make them colder. Remember, once you start blanketing your horse, you're making him dependent on you for his warmth and comfort. Today I'll be discussing exercising your horse in the cold. You've probably noticed that most horses really enjoy the cold, probably much more than their riders. However, there are a few things to remember when saddling up this time of year. First of all, spend plenty of time warming up. The horse's muscles will be cold, and allowing them time to gradually get moving will keep him from pulling or straining a muscle. Walking through deep snow is hard work, so keep it slow. Watch out for ice and items hidden under the snow. Also allow plenty of time for cooling down. This might be the most important step when riding in the winter. You don't want to turn a hot, sweaty horse back out into the cold. Walk the horse until they are cool. Once they are cool, the thick coat is probably still going to be wet. Putting a cooler on the horse made out of wool or similar fibers will allow the coat to dry without chilling the horse. Properly cooling out a horse that works hard can take nearly as long as the ride itself. For this reason, horses that are ridden regularly